Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something with a really quite evocative name.
Definitely.
We've got source material on the founding charter of the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood, or, Fratanitas Atlantica Saccra.
Yeah. Just saying it feels significant, doesn't it?
It really does. It sets a certain expectation. But what's fascinating is how quickly the text pivots away from, well, traditional organization stuff.
Exactly. And that's our mission today, isn't it? To really dig into this charter, get past the maybe poetic language, and find the core philosophy. What is this brotherhood, fundamentally? And crucially, how is its vision meant to work for you, the listener, the learner?
Right. And the tone is set immediately. There's this motto right up front. Whatever is dispelled by light never existed. That's a powerful opening. It's not just a tagline, it's a whole worldview, suggesting much of our perceived reality might be, well, transient, illusion, perhaps.
It frames everything that follows around this idea of light, of awareness dispelling things. It does. And you see that straight away in the preamble. It explicitly says, we gather not to build another institution. That's a huge statement.
Yeah, it's deliberately sidestepping all the usual baggage, dogma, hierarchy, rules.
All of that. So if it's not an institution, what are they saying it is?
Well, the charter calls it an invitation to remember who you truly are. It's completely inward-looking, isn't it? That's the key. The whole identity seems defined by consciousness itself, not by, signing up or paying dues. They talk about awakening what has always been within the light of consciousness. Like consciousness is this inherent thing just waiting to be recognized.
It's treated as the fundamental reality that just needs activating.
Okay, but here's a question that pops up for me. If it's all about this universal inner light, something supposedly in everyone, why pick such a specific, maybe even loaded name, the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood?
Yeah, Fratanitas Atlantica Saccra. It's grand.
Why not just, I don't know, the Consciousness Collective or something neutral?
That's a really fair question. And I think the text implies an answer, even if it doesn't spell it out directly. The name acts as a symbol, maybe a pointer.
A symbol of what, though?
Perhaps a lineage or a metaphor for peak human potential. Atlantis often represents that, right? A kind of golden age of awareness. And Sacred Brotherhood emphasizes shared purpose, a commitment to the path, even if that path is ultimately personal.
So the structure in the name is symbolic, not literal control.
That seems to be the idea. Using the weight of history and archetypes to signal intent, not to build walls.
Okay, that helps frame it.
Yeah.
Let's shift from identity to, well, what they aim to do. The charter lays out a mission and a vision. The mission has three parts. First two are quite spiritual: to awaken humanity's highest potential and to cultivate understanding of universal truths and spiritual consciousness.
Right, classic inner work territory.
Yeah.
But it's the third pillar that really grounds it, I think.
It is.
The commitment to cultivate understanding of the law of cause and effect.
Ah, interesting. Why bring that in? Why connect deep spiritual awareness with something as, well, practical as cause and effect?
Because that's the bridge, isn't it, between the inner world and the outer world. If you awaken your potential, if you grasp these universal truths, how does that manifest? Through understanding how your thoughts, your intentions, your actions, your causes create your reality, your effects.
Okay, so it stops it from being purely abstract navel-gazing.
Exactly. It connects the metaphysical insights to the mechanics of everyday life. It's not just about finding peace. It's about becoming a conscious participant, maybe even a creator of your experience.
That makes the vision make more sense then? They talk about a global community based on spiritual awakening, self-mastery, and this conscious evolution of humanity.
Yeah, the vision is the outcome of that mission put into practice. But individuals mastering themselves, recognizing their interconnectedness with the divine, as they put it.
And using that to transcend the illusions of the material world. Big goals.
Very big. Living in harmony with universal laws. It's aspirational, definitely. Individual change, scaling up to global harmony.
Now, this next part, the guiding principles, this is where I think it gets really useful for anyone exploring philosophy without dogma. There's this crucial line up front.
The disclaimer.
Yes. They say these principles are not doctrines to be believed, but mirrors to be experienced.
That's huge. It shifts everything. A doctrine asks you to accept it. A mirror asks you to look at yourself through it. It demands active reflection, not passive belief.
So what are these mirrors? There are 5 core ones. Let's maybe spend a moment on these because they feel like the real engine room of this philosophy.
Agreed. This is the framework.
What's the first mirror, the foundation they start with? The first one is, consciousness is the ground of all being. Straight away, that's a challenge to the purely material view of the universe. How so?
Well, it suggests reality isn't built up from matter and energy first. It suggests that matter, energy, space, time, all of it, arises from or within consciousness. Consciousness is primary.
And the implication for you, the listener.
It's profound. If consciousness is fundamental, then changing your inner state, your thoughts, your focus, your awareness, isn't just wishful thinking. It has a direct, potentially causal effect on your external reality.
Okay, foundational. What's the second mirror? The second is, truth is universal, not owned. Given the grand name they chose, this feels important, like a safety valve, right? Stops them from claiming they have the exclusive truth.
Precisely. That means any insight from this charter or anywhere else has to resonate with universal wisdom found across traditions. If it doesn't, it's suspect. It encourages you to seek and recognize truth wherever you find it, not just within their circle. Keeps it open. Then the third principle, freedom arises through awareness. How does that work practically? I mean, people have real constraints, right?
Yeah.
Jobs, bills, absolutely. But this principle suggests the feeling of being trapped often comes from our lack of awareness about the situation or our beliefs about the situation. Awareness creates space.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about how much people tie their self-worth to their job title or their bank balance. That's a common. Well, maybe an illusion, according to this charter. If you become aware that this link is just a learned idea, a social construct, the moment you truly see that, you gain a degree of mental freedom from its power, even if your job hasn't changed yet. Awareness is the first step to liberation.
Seeing the bars doesn't remove them, but it changes your relationship to them.
Exactly. It gives you choice in how you relate to them. Which leads nicely to the fourth principle, which is about action. Service flows from inner alignment. This one really turns the usual idea of service on its head. It does. Most models see service as a duty, an obligation, maybe something you do out of pity or guilt. This says no, authentic service is the natural result of being internally balanced and whole.
Like an overflow.
Perfect analogy. A full cup doesn't try to share. It just overflows naturally. If you achieve inner alignment, the impulse to contribute positively just happens. It's joyful, not effortful.
So, if I'm wondering how to serve or contribute, this principle suggests the first step is checking my own inner state.
Yes. Look inwards first, because the quality of your contribution will reflect your internal state. Service from stress just spreads stress. Service from alignment spreads clarity, maybe peace.
Makes sense. And the fifth and final principle, this one kind of wraps it all up. Evolution is a choice, not a demand, meaning
Your growth, your spiritual evolution is entirely up to you. No one can force it. There's no cosmic deadline. You have to consciously choose it.
that puts the responsibility squarely on the individual.
Radical personal responsibility, yes. It requires intention, awareness, maybe discipline. But it also gives permission, permission to go at your own pace, to pause, to integrate. If this brotherhood is about conscious evolution, this principle ensures it's always voluntary.
Okay, so these principles paint a picture of a very internal, very self-directed path. How does this brotherhood actually function as a group then? How do they structure themselves, if at all?
Well, the charter is quite specific on this. It says it's not a closed order, but an open circle of seekers, thinkers, and light bearers.
An open circle, that reinforces the idea of shared intent over rigid structure.
It suggests connection based on resonance, not rules.
And how do people within this circle interact? What are the methods? The charter mentions things like shared inquiry, creative expression.
And also the quiet courage to look within.
Right.
So the methods seem both collaborative and deeply personal. Shared inquiry means testing ideas together, dialogue, creative expression art, music, writing, as ways to explore truths beyond just logic. And that quiet courage bit.
What about it?
It reminds us that real participation starts with self-honesty. Looking within isn't always comfortable, hence courage. But the overall vibe is welcoming, listen, question, explore, no pressure.
And practically, how is knowledge or insight actually shared? What do people do? The charter talks about teachings, reflections, meditative insights, and crucially, it mentions the modes of transfer: words, sound, and silence. Words, sound, and silence. Explain that.
Well, words convey the concepts, the ideas, like we're doing now. Sound, maybe music, chanting, specific frequencies, can work more directly on emotion, on our vibrational state. And silence. Silence is for that direct, unmediated knowing, where the real aha moments might happen beyond language. And we should definitely underline this again. There's zero obligation, right? Absolutely zero. The text is emphatic. Offerings are invitations, never obligations. Your path is yours. If an invitation resonates, great. If not, that's respected too. It constantly circles back to individual sovereignty.
So, pulling this all together, what makes this charter stand out is that belonging seems entirely based on internal resonance, on whether these ideas, these mirrors, reflect something true for you, not on actions or initiations or payments.
Completely. The group is just a reflection of the individuals who align with these principles. And that closing invitation sums it up perfectly, doesn't it? You need no permission to awaken. You need no title to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that line, if the words stir something within you, you are already part of it. That really hits home the idea of internal recognition being the only membership.
hmm And this brings us to the core takeaway for you, the listener, for practical application. If there's one principle that encapsulates the actionable power here, it's that last one. Evolution is a choice, not a demand.
Why is that so crucial?
Because accepting that flips the script. The weight of external obligation shifts to the perhaps heavier but more empowering weight of personal responsibility. Every choice, how you spend your time, how you react to challenges, how you treat others, becomes an active step towards growth or, well, not growth.
It turns passivity into potential power.
Exactly. You're always at a choice point. Okay. A really profound perspective shift potential there. So, if the core mission here is about awakening, remembering who you truly are, and consciously choosing to evolve past limitations, past illusions, we should probably leave you with a final thought based on that.
A challenge, perhaps.
Maybe. If you accept that evolution is your choice, and part of that is transcending the illusions of the material world.
No.
What's one illusion? Maybe an assumption about scarcity or failure or what's possible for you that you are ready to start questioning, maybe even preparing to dispel, starting today.
What illusion are you choosing to see through? Something to reflect on.